Welcome back to the Quest for Treasure on the Quest for Details channel. And we're in a little kind of inner city creek and our feet are wet. You saw it here first, folks. But look what's in the creek. Really old shards. Just gonna leave that there. We're gonna do some detecting and some inspecting, inevitably some rejecting, and I'll see you on the Group W bench. We found a boat. It was a hard year in California. Woo! Telling you, the water got a little high. Of course, so did most of the population. First signal is junk, but 68 could be anything. Look at all these little shards, and they're all aged. And I don't know, I just got a good feeling. Let's do this. Type of really bubbly, striated obsidian. And there's lots of it there, it's pretty. Check that out, it's pretty cool. It's a knife, no telling how old it is thin. But old enough to rot away. It looks like it had bronze or copper pins holding the wood on there. Nice boat. This is my next signal out of here, and I don't know what it is. It's probably my favorite so far today. Sort of little clip there. It's all copper and turned green and kind of ornate. If anybody knows what that is, it feels older to me, but I have no guesses. They seem to be kind of flared out at the end of both ones. The third one was never there, it's just rounded. And this one has two holes in it, and that on the back, but those I don't think ever did. Here lives this creek. Like many around here, if you look close. It's got a type of quartz crystal in it. It's called a California or Lake County diamond, which the natives called moon tears. And they're here. There's a bunch of little ones, but look, this spot actually has some that are gatherable in that size. See how many there actually are? And if they freeze, there's bigger ones, I guarantee it. Not as big as where I get them out of my spot, but they are in a lot of the areas around here, so now you know kind of where I am today. And these are not broken pieces of crystal spears. These are just broken pieces. They occur in a bunch of long, totally random breaks and fractures stuck in little pockets and stones. In fact, if you look around and look as I'm talking, there's one. And you could find big pockets like that big with whole little things coming out of them. And none of them have points to them. They're never a terminated crystal. And when I say a type of quartz, realize that most of the planet is either macro or micro quartz crystalline. So, there's a lot here. These also travel with garnets and citrines and everything else in that category of weight, semi-precious. So you could actually bring a gold pan here and just kind of go halfway with the process and then look through the gravel, and you'd have more of your heavies. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if you came up with all kinds of low gemstones. We might come back here and do that. Thanks for watching, and if you're enjoying this, don't forget that on the Quest for Details homepage, if you click on the videos, then it will take you to all of the videos that I've posted in the past. They're all still there saved, and there's quite a few of them, and they grow every day. So just a reminder in case you didn't know. Little beast, you want to look in here? That's silly. Okay. Not climbing over that. We're going to go up the center island. We're just walking up the waterway now. And just goes right through a lot of areas, so you never know what fell in the last million years. Trying to walk mostly just upstream, but yeah, let you know if I get anything too. That. That's awesome. Okay, well, we found what we found, and a bit more, and it's not the end of our little adventure. Just the first stop, so I will see you at the next one. This is the site of Ranchos Los Pudos of 10 square leagues granted in 1845 by Governor Pio Poco to Juan Felipe Peña and Manuel Cabeza Vaca. The Peña Adobe, erected here in 1842, is still owned by the descendants of the Peña Vaca families. The town of Vacaville nearby was established in 1851 on land sold by Vaca to William McDaniel. Well, we were going to come here and metal detect because we saw that it was a park, but it's a historical landmark, and I believe this must be the old Adobe. So if you look, it's got redwood shingle roofs, and this is Adobe brick. So do you see? Don't try not to touch it too much or anything because it's the actual bricks. But it's just got a simple mortar, and then you see the straw details on the inside here. So these are bricks that they made out of mud and clay. We have a lot of yellow clay here, so you can see it's yellow. And I believe that this is the original structure. You can see the redwood. Look at the beams there. So those are probably split beams. Yeah, there's no saw marks on them, and they wiggle like that. So the straight grain of redwood allows you to split them. And those are usually braces that run across the inside. So they make these bricks and just dry them in the sun and then stack them up, and that's an Adobe. So we thought we'd do a little walk around and show you everything anyways. Look, 1968, the Rotary Club. Look at the agate in this. Can you see the detail? That must just look awesome when it's wet. I wonder if some of that's actually petrified wood. Actually kind of looks like petrified wood inlaid, huh? And then these are grinding bowls. Do you see that, Ollie? Set in the cement. So this is an actual grinding bowl from the natives here. Sorry about the car noise. This probably actually is too, but more of a bread maker. This looks more Spanish and that looks more native. You know what I'm saying? So there is a museum here. It looks like it's only open on certain days. You gotta remember that this highway wasn't here, so this was a long ways out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know how good this is gonna turn out. So they have barcodes here, or whatever those are called, so that you can get information from them. Look at the size of these rounds. This is a tree that stood behind it here. Oh, you wish you could look for gold coins there? Oh, look. Somebody was digging. Let's go look over here. It's just really cool to be on grounds. I bet you this is an actual outbuilding too. Because again, we have really old shake stuff. This might have actually been theirs. This looks a lot. I guess it's a big old buckeye is what this is. So it's been trained up. So that's probably from there. See, this is a buckeye. Look how big and how they kept it all singular. These will be multiple bases sometimes. So this is total improv tour. I'm sorry. We can come back here more organized with more information. Look at that. That's chalcedony boulder there. See all the pieces of bowls. Resting here in peace are the earthly remains of the original inhabitants of this valley. I'm going to go ahead and film this. See, this is actually turned so that you can't see it. And the whole rest of the park, do you see that? This is in the very back here, and it's tilted away facing the highway. And it's got all these broken bowls. Let's look what it says. Resting here in peace are the earthly remains of 7 original inhabitants of this valley. They lived, they suffered, they died, and only the Great Spirit knows who they were. Dedicated 69. So, most likely slaves in these. And you can see that's a walled in circle here. Under the buckeye, and that's the plaque that you were reading there that faces that direction. And they suffered cruelty underneath the Spanish from about 1837 up until when California had its gold rush in '49 and went ahead and finished totally massacring them and wiping them out. Important part of history. Okay. These aloes, this is a type of aloe. These are probably from their landscapes. You're probably looking at their landscape. That's semi-fascinating to me.
Yeah, I decided that I don't like the cucumbers.
Cucumbers, cactuses. Wow, look, Ollie, are you seeing all these grindstones that are everywhere? This is right off of Highway 80, right outside of Vacaville here. And it's, you see littler ones? I can take you to some spots that nobody has found yet, besides me and the friends that were with me. Showed Dustin and Sarah. Dustin found it with me and Sarah's been there. See all these dents? These were the next bowl that was going in. So they get so ridiculously deep that they start another bowl next to it, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. You know how many generations it takes with the average lifespan, even before slavery, of 30 years to get that deep? It takes a while. So, and this is an important thing. I'll show you this at some of the other sites where there's like 20 bowls. Is to think about it, the reason why you have multiple bowls is because there's multiple people sitting there. So it's kind of a cool, when you see these sites, you'll notice that there's always enough room for everybody to sit around and use the bowls. So you can kind of picture them. This is more than just a rog, is like the dining table, the counter where everybody makes their food. You can see them leaned over it doing their stuff. Pretty cool. I didn't know any of this was here. You can walk in for free and park. It's just a public park. And you can see on this short little improv tour, Rodney M. Rulson, 1901 to 1975. He loved the Indian people and their culture. This council ground is dedicated to his memory by the Indian community of Northern California. Sounds like he must have been a pretty good guy. And so these have historical points. There was a spot where there would normally be maps. The maps were missing. We don't blame them. They didn't know that the quest for details was coming, so we'll let them know next time. But yeah, great chance to stand around and experience. This was the Spanish. So this is the early Californians. This would have been, before California became California officially. Yeah, these are a type of agave. So these are the type of plants that you make really fine string out of. Some of the finest natural ropes and stuff in the world actually come from these. Some of the brothers that were first doing tequila then ended up doing their strands of super fine hair, and it was used for navies and stuff all over the world, some of the finest stuff. But yeah, the roots of those species of plant is where you get tequila. And then this is probably just prickly pear, but you can see their dinosaur age. So these were probably actually brought here and planted, and once again you have aloe at the bases. I can give you a good narrative tour of the plants, but not the history of the place. But it looks like they have it pretty laid out. Now this is dry right now, but all around us, see, there's this creek, and we're by a big lagoon. I've never been out there. I don't know how man-made it is, but I'm assuming that there's a lot of natural water here, and Olive can attest that we just drove through the whole Central Valley. We're coming back from Sacramento. It's pretty dry out there besides the rivers. So that's the thing about California's Central Valley. It looks green now, but it's a lot of canal work and stuff. So a spot like this that was naturally swampy and blah, 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 had a lot of water, was a great spot to set up. So here's some more agaves. These are, you call them, they've been called century plants, and that's the last factoid I'll give you about them as a gardener, is that they're not century plants. These grow, and they'll take about 10 years if you put them in your yard from a little pup, if you give them water. And you probably didn't know this either. And these in about 10 years will get to full size. and they'll put out a big old huge bloom. And we took the word cente, meaning 10, and we turned it into century, and so people will tell you it takes 100 years for one of these to bloom, but that's not true. That's because they've never watched them. So you can take a little pup off the bloom, put it in the ground, 10 years later it'll be this big, and right around then it'll finish out and bloom, and then the whole thing dies, and it'll have thrown a bunch of pups by then. And that's the cycle that I have seen. That is the spike of the agave. Last factoid. As a horrible torture. No, this isn't PC. But if you've ever heard that story, there's the center cone that would slowly grow through them. Okay, moving on. Okay, so this is an important detail. Most people walk under this because she's so old and gnarled and nobody knows what it is. Smell that. What is it?
I can't think of it. It's
a lemon?
Yes.
Okay, so lemon tree, and look how old and tall she is. So, most likely, see, here's the carriage house, probably built later on, and here's their lemon trees. A couple of them. This is actually a row. See, they go all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's only one lemon. No.
Oh yeah, one lemon fruit on them. That's a big old lemon up there hanging in it. Look how tall those are. Those are 20-foot tall lemons. So those probably went with the original property too. So awesome chance to be able to walk around. Same thing with the cypress. See the row of cypress. And then it looks like they have actually probably the ranch stuff here. And as opposed to some places where it's hauled in, I guarantee you these probably work the fields right here. Man, great chance to walk around and really touch some stuff, and where you can get charged a lot of money to do this sometimes. Look. Now I thought I'd figured out something really cool because I had the detector in the truck and I had a window of time, and yeah, I guarantee you hunt around here. Oh, that's an almond tree. This is another one of those. See this? This is an almond. That's what happens 100 years later. I was really wondering what our yard was going to look like. Pretty cool. We could only be so lucky. Well, there's a lot of history packed in. There's the entrance over there, and the fence and the highway, and it's all just basically right here. There's big old open grounds. That's going to detect it. I don't think we will now, even though I think that that's a historical landmark. Probably too close. I'm going for modern drop stuff anyways, but I guarantee that this loaded up with some gold coins and treasure here. Don't come out and dig though. And then there's the lagoons beyond. I think that we have to hit the road. I'm just going to throw this in another adventure. But, you know, we can definitely look this place up, come back, get the brochures, bring a phone that can scan all the different info for people who aren't ever going to make it here. This is another almond tree here, too. That's the one I was showing you. Look how big that is. That's an almond tree. And it looks like their row of cypress continued out, so that's probably their driveway. I see another huge cypress there. So, classic. I mean, just classic. We're standing in the orchard at the edge of the fields. Somewhere down there it would have dropped off in the swamp. Perfect. Perfect. And the road that's behind here was probably, you know, super dinky at that point. Okay, we'll see you guys at the next spot. Olive just got back from doing History Day. You want to tell them what your project was about?
World War II.
The what? You got traffic.
The Double V campaign of World War II.
Okay. The double V for victory. What is it? It was victory at home and abroad, right?
Victory at home and victory abroad.
Okay. I knew that part. She knows a lot more than me now, though. She just presented to the state.